Happy New Year! We are on to another year. 2025 has come in and we are ready to make this do what it do, honey. I'm coming right on in with a new episode for you. And didn't nobody ask for this, but I'm bringing it to you anyway. I want to take the time to thank you, each and every one of you that's taking time out to listen to this podcast and download it. And if you've shared it, thank you also for being a part of my dream. As we go into 2025, I just want to give you a reminder that if there is anything that is on your mind that you want to do, that you've been thinking about doing, that that you want to get started, but maybe something is holding you back, let me be the one to tell you to just get started. If you get started, God will show you the rest of the way. Okay, send you what you need, show you which other steps to take. And also, let's just say it doesn't work out. Let's just say it does fail. It will be one less regret, right? You're never going to regret the things that you decided to do anyway. You will always regret the things that you kept yourself from not doing. So let this be your sign. Go for it. As we're going forward, we're going right on into a new season and a new episode. So welcome to season 3. Yes, I made it to season 3. And while I have not been as consistent as I would like to be, one of my resolutions is that I will be in 2025. One of my New Year resolutions is in reference to my business, and it's about being more consistent in my business and making sure that I am showing up more in my business in order to get to that level that I would hope to and desire to be at. I think sometimes we forget that we can't just sit back and manifest. We actually have to put the work in, right? You can put things on your vision board, you can pray, and you can chant, and like I say, you can manifest. You can manifest a lot of things, but a lot of things take work also. So that's why I'm telling you, if you have a business in mind and you haven't gotten started, let me tell you, get started and the rest will come. Okay, so let's go into season 3. And this first episode, now listen, y'all, it's not my fault that it's a little messy coming right into the new year. That's not my fault. Everything happens for a reason. It's giving me something to bring y'all right on this first day of 2025. And what is it? We're going right on over to Carlos King Way. Excuse me, we're going over to Carlos King's Way, okay? Where he has his shows, Belle Collective, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, and also Love and Marriage Detroit. Now, the last 2 weeks, honey, seemed like the people over in his shows been dropping like flies. Now, let's just get into it. Love and Marriage Huntsville lost 2 castmates during the season, so they are currently running on OWN. They come on Saturdays at 8 o'clock, I believe. And at the start of the season, we were introduced to Sonny and Moses as new friends of, which means they weren't full-time anyway, but we were introduced to them as friends of. And then we have Stormy Steele and her husband, which I can't remember her husband's name. Sorry. However, both of those couples, both of those ladies, we lost them at the mid-season finale. So remember in season 2, that was the last Love and Marriage Huntsville review that I had recorded on the podcast, was the mid-season finale. Well, when we came back from that mid-season finale, they did finish up the girls' trip. But honey, Stormy and Sonny did not finish out the rest of the season. Now, I'm not sure if that means they went to the reunion or not, because the reunion is filmed months in advance. So I'm sure that they have filmed the reunion at this point, but I cannot be for sure if Stormy or Sonny actually shows up to the reunion. So I wanted to give you that piece of tea because that's a little old, right? Even though you just not getting it and it's fresh to you, that's a little old because the mid-season of Love and Marriage Huntsville actually started back maybe about a month ago, okay? Give or take 2 months, all right? So Fast forward to just in the last week, I'm talking from Christmas Eve up until New Year's Eve, Carlos Kings and one of his franchises has lost two other castmates. Yes, going over to Belle Collective. Belle Collective has lost Aikisha and her husband Willie, as well as Soguchi and her husband JJ. So, Aikisha and Willie were the first to leave, and they announced it during Carlos King's Monday night, Messy Mondays. I guess that was the perfect way, but it was so funny because as they announced that they would not be coming back to the show, nobody expected to hear this. And so everybody was just stuck on the screen. It literally looks like like somebody's computer was buffering and everybody was stuck, like pause, like the mannequin challenge. But nobody was stuck, honey. We was just not knowing what to say. Yes, Aikisha made the announcement during Carlos King's live, and as he invited them on that night to discuss the last episode of Belle Collective, Aikisha did let her know that they received their pickup letter, and unfortunately, they would not be returning. That was on Monday. So Monday was the day before Christmas Eve, right? So Christmas Eve, Willie and JJ have a podcast that they do together. So Willie did another episode on his podcast just to go into more detail a little bit about why they decided to quit. And at the same time, we unfortunately heard the passing of JJ's mom. So at the same time, so this is Christmas Eve that they're recording this podcast, and it was a live podcast. However, of course, we send in condolences to JJ because we had gotten that news, and then Willie just wanted to go into other detail because the last episode of Belle Collective shows them, Willie and his wife, getting into a very heated altercation with Glenn and Letitia. And what is Latrice, right? Latrice and her husband. What is her husband's name? Cliff. That's his name. Her husband, Cliff. So they had an opening for two businesses, Cliff and Latrice. They opened two businesses, a restaurant, and she reopened, I think, her Goddess Links, like maybe a hair warehouse, something to that extent. And as they were sitting at the restaurant, it did appear to me, I watched the episode, it appeared to me that Cliff and Glenn were trying to bait Willie. They were trying to shame him and outcast him. And I think Willie got a little tired of it. He said something that they really didn't like. And so everything escalated. And it was a really bad look for the show, even just for them as professionals, right? So that's basically what Willie went on to tell us on his podcast with JJ is that, hey, basically, this show does not line up with what my family values are, what we are trying to do in the community, and what our home life is. Like, it's no longer adding up. And so it's time for us to leave. I 1000% can understand that. I 1000% understand that. And I also thought that it probably was necessary. I do not think Aikisha and her husband, Willie, actually were able to gel well with the cast. Even though Aikisha is from Jackson, Mississippi, which this is where Belle Collective is based, like that's the primary focus, she just did not fit. And it seems like Latrice and Letitia, or I might get those names, I probably got mixed up because there's so many of them. However, they did appear a little bit intimidated by Aikisha's presence. And so I think Aikisha really is better suited in a group of people that are not threatened by what she brings to the table, by who she is, and by what her goals are. It appeared to me that because Aikisha may have had more arm to reach into the community to do the things that they had discussed doing on Ferris Street, and Letitia didn't. I think that caused a little bit of envy. And it seemed to come through with her husband, Glenn, because I think Glenn seems like he was trying to maybe kind of poke fun at Willie, and maybe kind of poke fun about whether he was a man or not. And I mean, I don't think that's anything you play with any male person. So it got excited. Everything got out of hand. And Willie did apologize. He just was let the audience know that that's not really anything he wants to be associated with. And so in order to stop that, they would have to exit. At this point in time, JJ and So Gucci had not discussed any mentionings of them leaving the show at this time, right? Well, fast forward to exactly 1 week, So Gucci makes an announcement that she is going to call it quits on the show also. Now she did this on Instagram. She posted a photo, and in the caption is where she explained that she would not be coming back. Now, I'm going to tell you the funniest part about all of this after I read you the caption, okay? This is what the caption says. Excuse me. Watching the reunion episode was very hard to sit through, especially knowing where my family currently stands. I was disappointed in my actions because even though I had my reasons, it should have never been handled or addressed on this platform from the beginning. I take full accountability for allowing the entertainment of this show to ruin the integrity of my family. I have apologized publicly and privately to Selena for my part in this entire production. We are moving on and moving forward, putting our family first and focusing on our healing. All the S's, Sophia, Chantrell, Selena, Sanjay, Star, and Sky, are solid. I do know that in order for my family to completely heal, someone would have to exit stage left, and I have decided that that will be me. I am pleased to say that I received my renewal letter for a new season, but the Williams will not be returning to Belle Collective. We are grateful for the opportunity and wish everyone the best. Happy New Year and cheers to 2025. Now, what's more interesting about that, not that they quit because, and in the public way that they did, but Carlos King is on vacation. I don't even think he's in the country right now. So this is kind of what got my spidey senses tingling, right? It's kind of like, why is everybody deciding to quit his shows in the most public, abrupt type of way? There seems to be something is happening in which the Belle Collective, that crew, is not feeling, they're not feeling like they're being taken care of. I think Love and Marriage Huntsville, those cast members seem to move a little bit differently. Now, Stormy did announce on her Instagram that she was leaving the show. But at least to Carlos King's point, or what he said, is that she had let him know. Carlos, he does his Monday Night Lives, and so he gives a little bit of information, intel into his shows because he can. He's the producer, he's the creator, and so you're inclined to believe what it is he's putting out there. Now, this is what I knew seem to be a problem between Soguchi and Selena. So Selena is JJ's ex-wife who has 3 children by him. So they share 3 children together. These children are adult children at this point, but of course now he's remarried to Soguchi. And ever since I think maybe last season, they seem to have brought Selena in this kind of backhanded type of way. And it appeared to create some type of rift with the family. Now, as we're watching the reunion, and they had apologized on camera, Soguchi was really trying to make efforts to make sure her and Selena didn't have any type of falling out, because that's what happened where the kids stopped speaking to their dad. They were mad about an altercation that took place in the prior season with Selena and Soguchi. One of the ladies invited Selena, and nobody knew Selena and Soguchi were having any type of issue. I think Soguchi referred to Selena as the help or a guest star. It was something to that effect. I can't remember the exact wording, but what the wording inferred was that she was not a cast member, that she an extra. I think that may have been the terminology. She may have referred to her as an extra, and that really didn't sit with Selena very well. And so they got into an altercation, and that caused the children to stop speaking to their dad, in lieu of being upset at his wife. Okay, fast forward to this season. They're trying to mend it. The daughters are still not talking to their dad while the season is playing out. And then we get to the reunion. And something happens in this reunion where Carlos brings up the issue about if there's an issue about Selena being on the show at the same time with Soguchi. And it was kind of one of those nasty little digs that started a bigger argument. Because here's the thing. I'm going to answer the question because as a viewer, I watched the show and it absolutely appeared to me that Selena felt the need to mark her territory. So Gucci had already been introduced as a cast member. At this point, Selena was not a cast member. But while we're watching this season's reunion, because she's still not a cast member this season, she was still brought back as a friend. But what I found interesting for her to have to get out of her mouth on that reunion was that the show wanted to have her as a cast member before Gucci. She could not do the show, or she passed on the show because she had a death in her family. Her son passed. And so for that reason, she said she then submitted JJ and Gucci's name. Now, remember I told you as soon as we saw them on camera, they had an altercation that very first time. Doesn't that sound strange that the person who put your name up to be on the show and now you're on the show, why would you get upset? I mean, I guess I understand why you would get upset for the person calling you an extra, but I don't kind of understand because I guess that's really what you were in that case. So, but it seemed to be that from that moment on, there was a hair up her booty to basically prove that, oh, well, I gave this to you. I gave this opportunity to you. They came to me first. But it did seem just like a little air of jealousy, like maybe you should have took the opportunity because, Selena, you seem to be doing a lot just to get some camera time. And I blame Selena a lot for it. I even blame her more so because you really don't even have to be here. So for you to be here and knowing that y'all have a problem, knowing that y'all have restraining orders on each other, why are you here? Ike, why are you here? So yeah, So I agree with So Gucci. I think that is the mature thing to do, because what she, in my opinion, what her statement is saying is Selena's not going anywhere. She's going to pick up any bone they toss to her. And I agree. That is the way that she has been portraying herself. Any bone they give you, you carrying it. Okay? And so if you do want to have, like, people don't do this enough. They don't analyze this enough. But when you want things to change, different actions have to be made. And if it's not going to come from the other party, they definitely, it's going to have to come from you. Because that's the only way you're going to get change. People don't think about that enough, or people are always sitting back wanting the other person to be the one to do the change. So we're going to send So Gucci and JJ our condolences on the loss of his mom. Like I said, right before Christmas, and we're going to send them the best of luck in their future endeavors. Hopefully, we'll get to see them again. I think Willie and JJ seem to have a very genuine friendship, and I'm not even surprised. So Gucci and Aikisha get along very well also. So it's funny that I'm not even surprised that as together, they all four are exiting that show. Because they are friends with each other. And yeah, I don't know what it looked like for one to be there without the other, and especially with the other group of ladies that they have to interact with, because both of them really are on a different level. Marie Monroe might be a millionaire, but Marie Monroe is messy, and she always got something going on. She's very self-centered. So Marie Monroe is her own show. She's not really filming with anyone. And Letitia, now she got to figure out how her husband is about to make some money, because he decided that since this show is successful, he don't need to work no more. And so he said he want to open up a business, but he seemed to be dragging his feet on that. That's his wife's words, not mine. She said it on the show that, he not putting his money where his mouth is. And really it's because the man didn't want to work in the first place. I mean, hello, he was too busy cheating for the first couple seasons, and now, now he done up and quit his job. And just upped and quit it right on the show, too. Put it on Front Street. Didn't even tell her off camera. Made sure to tell her on camera. So that, because here's the thing. She know we tired of dealing with her and his problems. So y'all better get this together, and you better be all right with it. So as soon as he tell her that he quit his job, she has to tell him that she needed that health insurance, because she might have something going on with her health. And now he done quit his job without talking to her about it, and we don't have no more health insurance after these 30 days, basically. So again, I know she know we tired of seeing her problems with Glenn, so she better get him an LLC and get it quick, unless he finna get right back out there on them fishing boats, okay? So yeah, that's all I got right now on this Carlos King train, but baby, I don't know. Carlos King he's very full of himself right now, but I don't think he's looking at the optics of how these ladies are deciding to leave. It feels like there's some type of hostile environment going on. Now, I do know So Gucci and Selena did have a restraining order on each other. And for some reason, they ended up in the same places more than once on the season. I do remember that being a topic on Instagram, because Mel also has a restraining order against Martell. And so for that reason, Martell and Mel are not filming at all in the same place. Not even close. And I know a lot of the audience was just asking questions about that. Like, okay, what's the difference? Well, I'll tell you the difference. I tell people all the time, here goes back to So Gucci making the decision to leave. Makes all the sense in the world to me. And she's right. She should leave. But going back to, I tell you what happened. Likability. when people like people more than other people and they're not just fair people, when they are people that thrive and live in the messiness, in the bowel of the messiness, kind of like Carlos King. I'm not telling you that Carlos King is not good at what he does. Absolutely he is. I'm sitting here wanting to make my whole career off talking about what he does. However, I can be honest and say when messy is messy. And I can always be honest and also be honest and say that I don't think Carlos King knows how to play fair just yet. Simply because Mel, also being a co-creator or executive producer, he's giving her some type of credit to that Love and Marriage Huntsville that others do not have because they didn't bring the idea to him, right? Those other shows were birthed out of the Love and Marriage Huntsville birthing. So that started with Mel. So she has some type of other relationship with Carlos King that is that supersedes just being talent, which is why we never see Martell's baby mama on the show. It has been said, Mel has said it herself, that she will not be on that show. She will not film on that show, and that's just that. And clearly she's correct because Carlos King has seemed to follow that, and he has seemed to, what do we call it? What is the word? I got the word. It's at the tip of my tongue. This perimenopause got me having brain fog, so I can't think of it. But he's gone ahead and let her have that, okay? Now, see, going back to how people do anything for clout, do anything for money, because I would think that there could be somebody like a Martell that is on Love and Marriage Huntsville that if he can't film with his life and with what's going on in his life, because that is supposed to be the point of the show, seems like you would exit stage left. But we know Martell ain't doing that. Martell is messier than Carlos King. That's why they get along so well. Because, honey, I didn't even get to the Martell of it all. We're going to have to do a whole separate episode for that one. So make sure you are subscribing to this channel. Make sure you are downloading this podcast so you can get the next podcast that comes out. But back to these restraining orders and these things. So my point really when it comes to Carlos King and the likability, what people don't forget is that people will give advantages and things to the people that they like. And outside of being fair, they may look out for the person that they like just a little bit more. And so that to me is kind of what I saw, but the difference in between the shows. It seemed to me that he likes Mel more. The relationship that he has with Mel is a little more financially beneficial to them both. Like, I need to keep Mel here at this show and keep her happy. So I'm going to do that and make sure that Martell doesn't get invited to these things. Make sure, that these scenes are separate, that Mel has her own and Martell has his own. He did not give Soguchi that. And I think the reason why is because he doesn't like her as much. Also, that relationship is not mutually financially beneficial. So if I did that for you, it doesn't benefit me enough to let that go, right? I still chase the reality. We're going to chase the drama. One thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville that a lot of people forget, but I'm going to keep saying it and reminding people, the drama that ensued on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Carlos did not go get that drama. Now, I can say that for sure. That drama came out on its own, and it was from Tasha K., and just other bloggers. But Carlos King was not a part of that. And had it not been for the bloggers bringing out this information, because I'm going to tell you what, from the first day up until this day, they have never mentioned that lady's name. Now, they may have referenced her, and they can reference her now, right? Because now we know who they're talking about. However, no, they've never mentioned that girl by anything that would be respectable to reference somebody in, and you know who they're talking about, which is sad for the girl, right? For Martell's side chick girl, because here it is, she's been in this guy's life now as the only person, because Mel divorced him, and not necessarily the only person, but now she's been in his life and she doesn't have to, stay a secret because he's divorced and everybody know who you are. Yet he's not doing anything for her in that manner. She's not getting any money from this Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I feel like somebody should be giving her a good 10% or something. And all she's doing is really just waiting for Martell to be ready to tell Marceau's secrets, I guess. And so she's going to be front and center to expose that. Yeah, girl, you a little off your rocker. So back to the difference. Like, again, going to Carlos, I feel like he likes Mel more and has more to lose when it comes to Mel. So he respects her boundaries better. And with the other castmates, so Gucci, even the one, I think it was Winter, on Love and Marriage DC. But yeah, it's like, I'm not going to go through all those hoops for you, because this is not a beneficial partnership. Like, only one person is getting the most benefit, I guess. Because I feel the same way about Sonny, Moses, and Destiny, which we're going to have to discuss them in a different episode, okay? Because that's a whole nother pill of... bottle of I'm trying to say these cocolisms and cannot remember them, right? So forget all of that. That's a whole nother can of worms. That's what I want to say. And we're going to have to talk about that in a different episode. So back to, where are they all going, Carlos? Where are the people going? What are you doing over there running all your girls away? And why are they quitting on you so abruptly and so publicly? Like, that would say to me that, yeah, they're not happy. I think Carlos King does spend a lot of time pumping himself up, but he's not paying attention. Those girls, for them to leave the way that they did, they're not happy with you. So we'll see. Good luck to both of those ladies in the future. And yeah, I think it was a good idea for them both. I think it was time to move. I don't think that that they were being served in the positive way that they should have been. And so that's what I think about any of the reality stars. Listen, unless you are there for the paycheck, because there's only one way to prove that you're not, and that's leave. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Of course, you can always go over to my YouTube channel. If you're not listening on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and make sure you press the notification button so you can be notified whenever a new video or a new post is up. Thank you so much. And again, Happy New Year. I want you all to enjoy your new year. Set forth for, be intentional about setting new goals and be intentional about reaching those goals. Remember, faith without works is dead. So we cannot just do manifestation boards. We cannot just do vision boards and we have no action. Okay. 2025 action. That is the word of the year. Action. All right. Make sure you subscribe. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.